Hey there, and welcome to Interest and Inquiry, a research report from me, Moth Meta, your digital librarian. The other day was grocery day, and I headed over to my local Stop and Shop. Every supermarket kind of feels the same to me. It's always slightly chilly, and always has that airy, open smell to it. It can be a bit of a nostalgic trip for everyone. We've all shopped here at some point in our lives. I have a supermarket habit that I always do, no matter what I go in for. I always take a stroll down the cereal aisle. Hell, I went in quickly the other day for ground pepper and still walked down it. It's kind of like the Disney World of the supermarket, and all of your childhood cereal friends are still there. There's the Honey Nut Cheerios Bee, Tony the Tiger, the Trix Rabbit, Toucan Sam, Lucky the Leprechaun, and so many more. Side note, everyone has their own personal favorite cereal, and while yours may differ from mine, I'd like to offer this. Most cereals have or need a mascot to sell it. However, there is one that doesn't. I'm talking about the best cereal, Golden Grahams. Oh man, that crunch to sog factor in the cereal is simply fantastic. What did Golden Grahams put on their box to sell it? Nothing. Just a big picture of what the cereal looks like. On this particular trip, I noticed something in the cereal aisle that maybe I noticed before but didn't register until right now. Who the hell was on the box of Cookie Crisp? According to the cereal's official website, his name is Chip the Wolf. You see, back in my day, there was this cop who chased around a robber and his dog. The cop would eventually catch the robber and dog before enjoying a bowl of Cookie Crisp, prompting the dog to yell, "Cookie Crisp," the elongation of the word cookie being its most well-known catchphrase. However, now there's a wolf featured on the box and in all the commercials. This led me to my main inquiry question. Why did the Cookie Crisp mascot change? Before we get into why, let's talk about when. Side note, as an educator, we're always compelled to say during research projects, don't use Wikipedia. However, Wikipedia has its place, and I think it's important to point them out. Finding out when the Cookie Crisp mascot changed is something Wikipedia can help us out with. We don't need well-sourced academic journals for that. In researching this, I found out that the change to Chip the Wolf was not actually the first time Cookie Crisp shifted mascots. In fact, the cop and robber, actually named Cookie Cop and Cookie Crook, were not the first mascots. That title belongs to Cookie Jarvis, a wizard-like character. Cookie Jarvis was the main mascot from the cereal's inception in 1977, all the way through 1985. His main shtick is this: he turns jars of cookies into cereal. 1985 introduced Cookie Crook, a robber who continually tried to steal bowls of cereal. Cookie Cop, also known as Cookie Crumb, was also introduced here, thwarting and arresting Cookie Crook. 1990 added Chip the Dog, who worked with and followed Cookie Crook around, frequently uttering the cereal's most famous catchphrase. 1997 saw the cop and robber gimmick go away. However, Chip the Dog remained. After viewing commercials from this time, you can see that Chip no longer donned his robber mask. Instead, the dog tried to persuade parents that cookies can actually be eaten for breakfast. This is pretty clever. In 2003, the cereal was introduced in Europe and Asia. When this happened, it was decided not to use Chip the Dog in these countries. Instead, a new mascot was introduced with a new gimmick. Chip the Wolf kept the Cookie Crisp catchphrase, but he seemed to adopt the personality of the Wile E. Coyote from Looney Tunes. He would come up with gimmicks and schemes to steal the cereal from others. In 2005, the United States dropped Chip the Dog completely and went with Chip the Wolf, and it's been this way ever since. Why the mascot changed over the years isn't as easy to answer. There's very little sources centering on this. No real information about its decline in sales to act as a catalyst for it. The only information that I could find dealt with 1997's change to just Chip the Dog. Since its inception, the cereal was owned by Ralston Purina. The company, and by extension the cereal, merged with Nestle in 1997. The change in ownership most likely prompted a change in direction for the mascot. So it's at this point that my inquiry search comes to an end, without a definitive answer. And that's okay. The original question took me down a rabbit hole where I eventually learned and explored information that I didn't know before. That's the beauty of the inquiry cycle. And with that, I hope this report has generated your own interest and inquiry into the topic. I look forward to hearing any questions and insights that you have in the comments below. I'm Moth Meta, and now you know. Now it's time to enjoy a bowl of Golden Grahams.